The invitation sat on my desk, its gold lettering catching the morning light streaming through my office window. James Anderson's 60th birthday celebration, family only. The word family had been underlined twice, clearly my sister Amanda's doing. I hadn't seen them in 3 years, not since they'd made it clear I wasn't the kind of successful child they wanted to acknowledge. Back then I was working my way up, starting my own company from scratch while living in a tiny apartment. They were embarrassed by my struggling entrepreneur phase, as they called it. "Miss Carter." My assistant's voice came through the intercom. "The board is ready for your quarterly meeting." "Thank you, Jessica." I straightened my designer suit and grabbed my CO badge, the one that granted me access to every floor of the Carter Tower, the city's most prestigious business address. The irony wasn't lost on me. My father's accounting firm had just moved into the building last month, taking up the entire 15th floor. He had no idea his landlord was his own daughter. After the board meeting, I stood at my office window looking down at the city below. My phone buzzed with a text from Amanda. "Just reminding you, Dad's party is family only. Real family. Successful family. Not startup dreamers who embarrass us. Don't try to crash it." I smiled, thinking about the security clearance Dad's party would need. They'd rented the building's exclusive top-floor restaurant, my restaurant. Every guest would need special access, approved by the owner. The day of the party arrived. I watched through the security feeds as my family members arrived, all dressed in their finest. Amanda was playing hostess, checking names off her list with obvious satisfaction. Mom was arranging flowers, making sure everything was perfect for her husband's big day. I waited until they were all there: aunts, uncles, cousins, family, friends. All the successful people who'd looked down on me. Then I put on my CEO badge, straightened my Armani suit and headed for the elevator. The security guard at the restaurant entrance nodded respectfully. "Good evening, Miss Carter." Amanda's head snapped up at the sound of my heels on the marble floor. Her face twisted into a sneer. "What are you doing here? This is family only." The room went quiet, everyone turning to watch the drama unfold. Dad stood frozen by the bar, his new crystal glass halfway to his lips. "Oh, I know," I said calmly, opening my blazer to reveal my CO badge. "But as CEO and owner of Carter Enterprises, I think I have the right to visit my own building. Specifically, my own restaurant." The silence deepened. Someone dropped a fork, the clatter echoing through the room. What are you talking about?" Mom stammered, her perfect makeup couldn't hide her shock. "Welcome to Carter Tower," I said, gesturing to the stunning city view beyond the windows. "Named after its founder and CEO, me. Dad's new office? He's renting it from his daughter. This restaurant where you're celebrating? Also mine." Amanda's face had turned an interesting shade of red. "You're lying. You were broke. A failure." I pulled out my phone and pulled up the building's ownership documents. "Would you like to see the paperwork? Or maybe the Forbes article from last month? Youngest female CEO transforms city skyline." It was quite a good write-up. Dad stepped forward, his party forgotten. "Catherine, how? Remember when you said I was wasting my time with that little tech startup? Well, I grew. A lot. And 3 years ago when you all cut me off for being an embarrassment, I was actually closing the deal on this building." The room erupted in whispers. Amanda's perfectly manicured hands were shaking as she gripped her champagne glass. "But now," I continued, my voice carrying across the stunned silence, "we need to talk about your lease agreements. All of them." The crystal chandeliers cast dancing shadows across the room as my words hung in the air. Dad's 60th birthday celebration had transformed into something entirely different, a power shift that no one had seen coming. "Lease agreements?" Dad's voice cracked. His accounting firm had just spent a fortune renovating the 15th floor. "What about them?" I walked to the bar, noting how people parted before me like water. The bartender, my employee, immediately prepared my usual whiskey neat. "Well," I said, taking a slow sip, "when Carter Enterprises acquired this building, we implemented a strict code of conduct for all tenants. Professional behavior, ethical business practices, and..." I paused for effect. "No discrimination or harassment of any kind." Amanda's face drained of color. She was HR director at Dad's firm, and I had copies of every email she'd sent blocking my clients' applications over the past year, simply because they were associated with me. You wouldn't, she whispered. Wouldn't I? I placed my glass down. 3 years of mockery, exclusion, and active sabotage. Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences? Mom stepped forward, her designer dress rustling. Catherine, darling, we can discuss this as a family. Family. I laughed, the sound echoing off the floor-to-ceiling windows. Like when you told the country club I was mentally unstable because I chose entrepreneurship over a corporate job. Or when Amanda here spread rumors about my failed business to potential investors. I pulled out a leather portfolio from my briefcase. These are the lease violations I've documented. Discrimination against my clients, unauthorized subletting of office space, illegal after-hours activities. Should I continue? Dad reached for the portfolio with trembling hands. His eyes widened as he read, recognizing how much trouble his firm was in. The standard penalty for these violations, I continued, is immediate lease termination. No notice period. The room erupted in chaos. Dad's business partners started making phone calls. Amanda collapsed into a chair, her perfect facade crumbling. However, I raised my voice slightly, silencing the room again. I'm willing to be reasonable. Under certain conditions. Name them, Dad said quickly, his birthday cake forgotten behind him. I smiled, removing my CEO badge and placing it on the bar. First, Amanda resigns as HR director. Her replacement will be chosen by my team. Second, your firm will undergo a complete ethics audit, conducted by independent investigators of my choosing. That's outrageous. Amanda shrieked, standing up. You can't dictate how we run our business. Actually, I can. It's my building, my rules. But please, feel free to find another grade A office space in the city's business district. Oh wait. I pretended to think, Carter Enterprises owns those too. Mom started crying, her carefully applied makeup running. Why are you doing this to us? I'm not doing anything to you, I replied calmly. I'm protecting my interests and my clients. Just like you taught me family first, right? Except now I decide what family means. I nodded to the security team stationed at the doors. My security team. You have until Monday to decide. Either accept my terms or start packing up your offices. As I turned to leave, Dad called out, Wait, what about my party? I looked back at the expensive decorations, the gourmet food, the premium champagne. Enjoy it. Consider it a farewell party if you choose not to comply. Or, I smiled, it could be a new beginning. Your choice. The elevator doors opened silently for me. As they began to close, I caught one last glimpse of my family's shocked faces. My phone buzzed, another text from Amanda. You'll regret this. I typed back a simple response. Check your email. Your termination letter is already there. The elevator descended and I smiled, thinking about tomorrow's board meeting. We had bigger plans for the building's 15th floor anyway. A technology incubator for startups, giving other dreamers the chance I never got from my family. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's using that success to reshape the world that once rejected you. Monday morning arrived with a storm of emails and phone calls. My assistant, Jessica, had already filtered out 30 desperate messages from various family members. Ms. Carter, Jessica's voice came through the intercom. Your father and sister are in the lobby. Security reports your mother is trying to access the building through the parking garage. I glanced at the security feeds on my tablet. Dad looked disheveled, his usual pristine suit wrinkled. Amanda had abandoned her designer heels for flats, dark circles under her eyes. Mom was arguing with the parking attendant, waving what looked like old family photos. Send Dad and Amanda up, I instructed. Escort Mom to the main lobby. While waiting, I reviewed the documents on my desk. Amanda's termination papers, the lease violation reports, and a new proposal for the startup incubator. 3 years of careful planning had led to this moment. They entered my office like chastened children, nothing like the proud, arrogant people from the party. Amanda couldn't even meet my eyes. Sit, I said, gesturing to the chairs facing my desk. The city sprawled behind me, my empire of glass and steel stretching to the horizon. Catherine, Dad began, his voice hoarse, we've been up all night discussing your terms. And? Amanda shifted uncomfortably. You've won, okay? Is that what you want to hear? You've destroyed everything we built. I leaned forward. No, Amanda. You destroyed it yourselves. Every time you chose cruelty over kindness. Every time you put status above family. Every time you crushed someone's dreams because they didn't fit your definition of success. We were wrong, Dad whispered. We see that now. Do you? I opened my laptop, turning it to show them the screen. These are recordings of your board meetings from the past year. Discussions about underpaying staff, manipulating client accounts, blocking competitors through unethical means. Is this seeing the error of your ways? Their faces paled as they recognized their own voices, their own laughter as they planned their schemes. How did you get those? Amanda demanded. I own the building, remember? Every meeting room is monitored for security purposes. It's in the lease agreement you clearly didn't read. Dad slumped in his chair. What do you want from us? Real change, I replied. Starting with this. I handed them each a folder. Inside you'll find your options. They opened the folders with trembling hands. Amanda gasped. Option 1, I explained, you leave. Take your severance, sign the NDAs, and never work in the city's financial sector again. Option 2, you stay, under completely new management with ethical oversight, and a focus on helping small businesses grow. And if we choose option 2? Dad asked. Then you'll work under people who started just like me, dreamers, entrepreneurs, people you would have looked down on 3 years ago. You'll learn humility, integrity, and real business ethics. Amanda started to object, but Dad stopped her. We'll take option 2, he said quietly. Good choice. I pressed my intercom. Jessica, send in the new management team. The door opened and 5 young entrepreneurs walked in, people whose loan applications Amanda had rejected, whose businesses Dad had dismissed as worthless. Now they were successful CEOs in their own right, partners in my vision for ethical business practices. Meet your new board of directors, I announced. They've all been where I was, rejected, underestimated, but determined to succeed. They'll teach you what real success looks like. As the reality of their new situation sank in, I stood up. One more thing. Mom can come up now. She has some paperwork to sign too. What paperwork? Dad asked. The country club membership transfer. Since you won't be needing it anymore, I'm converting it into a networking space for startup founders. Seems fitting, don't you think? The look on their faces was priceless, the final piece of their social status stripped away. But in their eyes I saw something new, understanding, perhaps even respect. Welcome to the real world of business, I said, where success is measured not by who you look down on, but by who you lift up. As they left my office, heads bowed, I turned to the window. The sun was rising over my city, casting long shadows from the towers I owned. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies, it's forcing them to become better people. The intercom buzzed one last time. Ms. Carter, the startup incubator architects are here with the final plans. I smiled. Time to build something new, something better. Something that would help other dreamers rise just as I had. After all, true power isn't about having the highest office. It's about changing the game for everyone who comes after you.